Hola. So, fellow pheasants, it's Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday, just under lockdown, everyone else in the world, and okusoka with before doing anything else, jagala just to encourage everyone. We're going through some tough things. It's a tough situation. People out of work, money is scarce, everything's shut down, but always glass half full, optimistic. Just be encouraged that we have a force that is bigger than us above, who is looking out for us. So we just have to do our small part. So Miss B, as usual, she's still sleeping, and I'm just trying to do my small bit. So please stay home, wash your hands, social distance, and let's all be safe in this crisis. But my small bit today is I'm trying to respond to the push-up challenge. I'm not as good as some people, but I'm going to do a little bit. So as you were seeing us doing a little joke there, and we're going to start the push-up thing, and everybody do. People have there are different versions. There are people who do them like this, like that. The people who do them on their knees, the people who do them on their side, like so. So whichever is your version, as long as you're working out, as long as you're getting some benefit in there, it's a good thing, because then you're working out, you're staying active, and that's very, very important in this crisis. So Tubasaba, please stay home, social distance, wash your hands, sanitize, stay healthy, and we will all get through this, and we'll be encouraged. So as I start my push-ups, I just have to preface this by saying what we're going to do for sharing in order to keep us active and busy. I think now is a good time to introduce a new segment called Throwback Thursdays. So these are clips of things, adventures that, especially me, not so much Miss B, but that I was involved in quite a few years ago, but I've never shared these clips. So Throwback Thursdays is going to be a time when we share clips of interesting things that have happened in the past. And so what you are about to see now is a clip of when I was at a conference, in DC, and there was a guy I met there, a white Mugisu man from Uganda, and he was telling me about coffee. So enjoy while I do my push-ups. So go to it.
All right. How you doing, and what's your name, and how are you involved in this convention?
My name is Jake. I work with Crop to Cup Coffee Company. We import and wholesale coffee from Uganda. I've been doing it for about 6 years now.
Okay.
Started off as an exporter from the Bali region. Came back to the U.S., to Chicago, where I'm from. I'm basically a Midwest boy that ended up in Uganda, ended up in coffee, and here I am still in coffee and still working with Ugandans. It's a place you can never leave. Our slogan is that good coffee comes from good people. And notice that it's not me on the poster. We found that people like to know the farmers, the people who actually grew their coffee.
Yeah.
There's a movement in the U.S. right now to get to know your food.
Yeah.
Coffee's a food. And so they don't want to see some bearded white boy selling them coffee. They'd rather know the people who actually grew the crop itself. So that's what we do. Our goal is to introduce coffee lovers to the ultimate supplier, the coffee farmer. And also vice versa. We want coffee farmers to know where their coffee is going, to understand how people are drinking it and how they enjoy it.
Okay. So how does Ugandan coffee compare to, say, Starbucks?
How does Ugandan coffee compare to Starbucks? Well, Ugandan coffee is good. That's a start.
Yeah.
Starbucks coffee is burnt. So
Yeah.
in fact, when I've had coffee in Uganda,
Yeah.
it tastes somewhat like Starbucks because they do it the way over the traditional way over
Yeah,
the fire.
yeah, yeah.
But Ugandan coffee is known for having a very good mouthfeel, very
Yeah.
good body. It's
Yeah.
very thick in texture.
Yeah.
And Starbucks coffee is a little bit bitter. It's a little bit,
Yeah.
falls flat in my opinion. So we've been able to actually convert many Starbucks drinkers over to Ugandan coffee.
Okay, so I think many people will want to know. They're very curious. So, what is a maize-eating white dude from Chicago? You said
Yeah.
doing selling Ugandan coffee. Please explain.
It's a good question. All right. Well, I'm not an engineer and I'm
Yeah.
not a doctor.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring that up is because I was working in Uganda.
Yeah.
I was doing water development work.
Yeah.
And for me to go further in that direction, I would have to either build complex pipe systems or I would have to be a doctor and learn about different public health things.
Okay.
And I'm not that smart. So I ended up in business.
Okay.
And so I started fundraising for some of the projects I was working with. And, I got tired of writing grants. Some of the companies, I asked for money, said, I'll buy your coffee. And so that's where it started.
Okay, sounds good. And so, when did you first go to Uganda?
In 2003.
2003.
Yep. And then I came back in 2004, lived there until 2006.
Okay.
And then started importing coffee into the U.S.
Sounds good. Now, are you a partner in Uganda Coffee Development Authority, or you have your own firm, or?
Yep. So the company name is Crop to Cup Coffee. It's a private company here in the U.S. We are good friends with Uganda Coffee Development Authority. They've been excellent in supporting us. In fact, they're the reason we're here at this conference this weekend, because their mission is also to help promote Ugandan coffee with the diaspora and also at large in markets in the U.S.
Okay.
So we are separate, but we work closely hand in hand.
Okay. So, how did you hear about the Uganda Convention?
Well, I've been watching it for some time. I live in Chicago. There's a very strong Ugandan expat community in Chicago.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they never invite me to their soccer games. So I called up my good friend, Henry Gabriano, to see if he could give me an invite to one of the soccer games so I could
Yeah.
get some more matoke and G-nut.
Oh, yeah.
Which I can't really make as well without it. I've tried. I've used peanut butter. It doesn't work. I'll tell you that much right there. So I was hoping to get a good G-nut recipe, and I ended up here instead.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, what is the way forward in terms of coffee development in Uganda? I mean, because we have the resource and we have the product, but it doesn't seem like our product reaches the Western market. In your opinion, what is the way forward?
Well, less than 2% of Uganda's coffee makes itself to the U.S. And out of U.S. consumption, it's less than 0.1% of the coffee drinking in the U.S. is Ugandan.
Yeah.
I'm very proud to say that we are the only coffee company that has Uganda in the name, because Uganda is usually used as a blender.
Yeah.
So it doesn't give any credit for it. Now, the way forward is, first of all, to develop a regional brand for some of the coffees. So this is the Mugisu region. We also work with the Kapchora, the Sabay region as well.
Yeah.
And it's important for these people. Here we go. Here's our Sabay. It's kind of ugly, but you can see the Sabay right here.
Yes.
It's important for them to develop that brand, like Jamaican Blue Mountain, or
Yeah.
Kona,
Yeah.
or Kenyan AA. And so it's very important for that brand to be developed.
Yes.
And for that to happen, there needs to be some pride in the coffee.
Oh.
For there to be pride, coffee farmers need to be able to drink coffee to know what it tastes like.
Yep.
So I think the first step is for people to start encouraging the coffee culture in Uganda.
Yeah.
There's been a rise, there's many more cafes there now, the middle class. And as that continues to grow, there will be more and more of an awareness of what is good coffee
Yeah.
and what people are looking for. But I'll tell you, even last time I was there in November, last November, I go back again this November, people were asking me if we use it for gunpowder or as a medicine for sexual ailments here
Yeah.
in the U.S. because
Yeah.
they wonder why we pay so much for it.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect.
Yeah.
The other aspect is traceability, separation.
Yeah.
There's a phrase in the U.S., I'm not sure if they have it in Uganda, that one bad apple can ruin an entire barrel.
Yeah.
And the same is true for coffee.
Yeah.
So if you can separate the good coffee from the bad coffee,
Yeah.
you can come up with a differentiated product and be able to sell at many different price points and find many different types of customers. And once you have that, you have a very robust coffee economy.
Sounds good. Now,
One more thing on this, actually. I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
I'm almost finished.
Please, go ahead.
We just started working in Burundi this year.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Burundi, very small country, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very small coffee output. Very, very, very small coffee output. Do you know how many washing stations are in Burundi?
I don't know.
Just under 200 washing stations. Okay, this is the place where specialty coffee is processed and then purchased from the forest farmers. Do you know how many coffee washing stations there are in Uganda?
No.
The second largest coffee producer in Africa?
No.
7.
Wow.
Yeah. So there is an additional need for investment in infrastructure, for roads, for washing stations. The reason is these 7 washing stations are all right next to each other. So farmers only around that area can benefit from there. Otherwise, no one's going to carry all that coffee many miles to these washing stations. Whereas in Burundi, they've been placed strategically around the country so that every farmer has access to a good market. So that's another thing that needs to happen.
Sounds good. Now, what is one part that you miss about Uganda?
One part?
Well, 15 parts.
How much time do you have?
Days.
Well, I'll tell you one part I don't miss. Mzungu! But everything else I do miss, actually. It's an incredibly warm place.
Yeah.
It's very different from here in the U.S.
Yeah.
Although my family and friends are here, I have many friends in Uganda.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to make friends in Uganda. I love the fruit. I miss the fruit.
Yeah.
I had an avocado tree in my backyard.
Yeah.
I miss that. I miss that life is all over the place. There's no straight lines, inside, outside.
Yeah.
There's no here and there. It's everything is together, and I really miss that as well.
Wonderful.
I especially miss the G-nut, I'm telling you.
G-nut sauce.
Yeah.
Now, it seems you have customers who are impatiently waiting for their hot coffee, so I must release you to them because they're
it's
dying.
self-serve.
They're dying for hot coffee.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's cold in here. We are freezing.
if you would like, I can pour this out and brew fresh.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, never put Uganda, never Where you situated? Where is your location?
I started on Uganda, and then I lived in
Oh, that's where we come from. Yay! That's it. That's you have That's where my husband
Oh,
so cool. That's wonderful.
You have hot water.
we don't have hot water, I'm sorry.
She only has coffee. Ugandan coffee.
Yeah, it's Ugandan water.
Give me 5. There you go. That's the spirit. That's what I'm talking about.
So
That's
we're,
the spirit.
thank you. So we only work with Ugandan coffee now. We'll be starting with Burundi next year.
And stay with Uganda. What?
Yeah, no, you've got to spread sugar love a little bit, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
Burundi has a lot of needs as well.
You're from Uganda, you're gonna buy that coffee and we'll give you a Ugandan name. Oh, I like this! Oh my god, did you notice this?
This is how it comes in the States.
Yeah, no. And I think they make this in Uganda.
They do. Yeah.
Oh,
He said the coffee comes through.
yeah, I know.
This.
What do we call it?
A kutia.
A kutia, the real kutia. I haven't
that's the
seen
name in
this
Uganda.
Yeah.
Kutia.
Yes, a kutia.
It's amazing. There's people in the U.S. love this. They make purses and jackets. And things like that.
Or they take the bags that they
Exactly, like these bags.
or they take them and they make clothes.
Yeah, we bring in, the container has 300 bags of this at a time. So we bring in 300 bags at a time and just make clothes and purses.
Please, don't give me 20 bags.
From the lady from Uganda.
Yeah, the ladies from Uganda, you have to ask where are you from?
That's right. That'll be the code word. That'll be the code word.
Oh, that's awesome.
The Uganda coffee's here and it
This guy
rocks.
is all coffee. Look at his shirt. So
Were
we
you looking
ready?
for a cup? Oh yeah. I was just chatting you away here, you know.
That's okay. It was a very interesting conversation.
I'm coming back
Cream and sugar?
tomorrow. Yep. Cream.
Black, just black for me, no sugar, please.
High five.
Thank you.
What?
Here we go.
That's how I like it, black.
Bring on the Mugisu.
Yes. From Uganda.
Here we are.
Thank you.
Right here, man.
It's from Uganda.
From Uganda. She's so Ugandan. An easy one that you will remember.
You're much more forgiving than many of the people in Uganda. They said I had to work in my skin color first.
Yeah, I'm good.
So to wrap up,
Yeah.
basically, you are here for today, tomorrow, and Sunday.
I was here yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I go
Okay.
back on Sunday.
You go back to Uganda.
Oh, sorry. I go back to Chicago via New York.
Okay.
I go back to Uganda in November and again in December.
Sounds
So
good.
The harvest is in November. I'm starting up a student exchange program that will be going over in mid-December, late December.
Okay. So to your friends in Uganda, what do you say?
To my friends in Uganda, I say keep in touch.
Yeah.
There are many internet cafes here. There's no excuse for you to be lost. Don't be lost. If you're not there, you're here.
Thanks again. What was your name again?
I'm Jake.
Jake.
Yes.
Thanks a lot and enjoy the convention.
Hey, thank you.
Right.